Second Chance, a journey to rediscover the meaning of life after 60. Adrian were grown and busy, and he lived alone in a small house, silent and seemingly unnecessary in a world that moved too fast. Every morning he would walk to the nearby park and sit on the same old wooden bench, quiet as part of the scenery. People passed by without noticing him. And George, quietly observing, would ask himself, "Do I still matter in this life?" Days drifted by in the same monotonous gray rhythm, until one autumn afternoon, as golden leaves fluttered across the path, George heard a soft sob behind him. Turning around, he saw a young boy crouched beside a bicycle. Its chain slipped off, his face smudged with dirt, and eyes red with tears. Without hesitation, George walked over and gently said, "Let me take a look, kid." The boy nodded. Though George's hands trembled with age, they still remembered how to twist, tighten, and adjust. In just a few minutes, the bike was working again. The boy beamed with joy, thanked George over and over, and rode off into the golden light of sunset. George stood there, watching him go, a smile slowly forming on his lips, for the first time in many years. The next day, a little girl knocked on George's door. "My brother said you're really good at fixing bikes. Mine's broken too," she murmured shyly. George chuckled and knelt down once more, beginning work on the second bike. From that day forward, the children kept coming. One had a flat tire, another had a broken chain, and some came just to visit the kind old man who fixes bikes. George never turned anyone away. He set up a small table in his front yard and hand-painted a simple wooden sign. "Free bike repairs. Just one smile is enough." He didn't ask for much, just that every time he helped someone, he felt a little more alive. The kids affectionately called him Grandpa George, sometimes bringing sweets, fruit, or messy little drawings as gifts. Neighbors began to notice. They stopped by to say hello, bringing hot tea or a slice of warm bread. George's yard was no longer silent. It echoed with laughter. He no longer felt invisible. He was no longer that old man in the park. George had become a part of the community, a quiet light in everyday life, shining through simple kindness and presence. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the rooftops, a young boy hugged George tightly and whispered, "You're my hero." George didn't say a word. He just gently patted the child's back, his eyes welling with tears. It had been a long time since anyone had called him a hero, a word that once felt so distant, yet now came from the purest of hearts. That night, George sat under his porch light, the warm glow softening his face. He opened his old notebook and with shaky hands carefully wrote, "One small act can light up an entire life, and sometimes a second chance comes from the most unexpected place, like a slipped bicycle chain and the smile of a child." George's life didn't end at 60 as he once thought. On the contrary, it had just begun again, quietly, simply, but filled with love. And he had come to understand one thing: it's never too late to live a meaningful life.